The cities on the southern coasts of Anatolia have the characteristics of being important ports in maritime trade, and this characteristic dates back to the Bronze Age. Were the Bronze Age finds discovered off the port of Syedra related to the city? Since it is not possible to say this exactly, it is truly difficult to claim that Syedra existed in this period. Jacques Yakar stated that in the period following the collapse of the Hittite Empire, rural communities dependent on trade centers, or ports in socio-economic terms, had to reorganize independently. It is possible to say, based on ceramics of Cilician and Cypriot origin, that Syedra began this reorganization process at the earliest in the 9th century BC. The data obtained from ancient sources about Syedra is insufficient. However, the information obtained about other cities gives us at least some clues for the history of Syedra. According to Herodotus, Pamphylia was under the rule of the Lydian kingdom during the Croesus period. It is known that this domination reached as far as the city of Selinus around 546 BC. In this case, Syedra, which remains to the west of Selinus, was also under Lydian rule in the second quarter of the 6th century BC. A short time later, in 546 BC, the Persians, gaining power in the east, destroyed the Lydian kingdom and captured Anatolia. This process lasted until Alexander the Great defeated Emperor Darius in 333 BC. Upon the death of Alexander the Great, his empire was divided among his generals. In this period of constant wars, the region first fell into the hands of the Ptolemies and then the Seleucids. Shortly thereafter, the dominance of the Seleucids in the region was broken by the Romans. With the Treaty of Apamea, signed in 188 BC after the Battle of Magnesia, the Seleucids began to withdraw from western Cilicia and Pamphylia. By 133 BC, with the death of King Attalus III of Pergamon, their lands in Anatolia fell into the hands of the Romans. By the end of the 2nd century BC, due to Rome's inability to fully establish its authority in the region and the Seleucids losing their power, pirate activities increased significantly, especially in the west of Cilicia. From ancient inscriptions, we understand that Syedra was affected by pirate activities at the beginning of the 1st century BC and tried to find a solution by consulting the oracle of Apollo of Claros. The pirate threat in the region was eliminated by Pompey the Great in 67 BC. Pompey the Great, an important military and political figure of Rome who cleared the Mediterranean of pirates, decided to flee to Egypt in 48 BC after losing his war against Julius Caesar. Before going to Egypt, his last stop in Anatolia was the port of Syedra. When Pompey arrived in Egypt, he was killed. Following the turmoil of the Roman civil wars, a long period of peace began on the southern coasts of Anatolia. At the beginning of this process, during the reign of Emperor Tiberius, Syedra was the first city in the vicinity to mint its own coins. The legends of Syedron, or Syedre, are seen on the reverse of the coins. The period of peace and prosperity that dominated the entire empire by the 2nd century AD was strongly felt in and around Syedra. In this period, construction increased. The majority of the magnificent structures in Syedra were built at this time. During this era of prosperity, numerous sports games were organized in the Cilicia region. The fact that the majority of inscriptions related to the games are found in Syedra shows that the city played a leading role in regional sports. Most of these inscriptions mention the names of people who participated in agons and received awards. Furthermore, an inscription showing that the people of Syedra supported Septimius Severus in his struggle for the throne against Pescennius Niger indicates that the city was on good terms with the Roman emperor in the late 2nd and early 3rd centuries AD. In the 3rd century AD, Sassanid raids interrupted Rome's dominance. In the battle where Emperor Valerian was taken prisoner, Syria and Cilicia were captured. In the same period, the Goths and the Queen of Palmyra, Zenobia, entered Anatolia, and the coasts were taken over by sea pirates. The people living in the mountainous areas of Isauria rebelled and attacked the wealthy regions. These rebellions were ultimately suppressed by Emperor Probus. During the reign of Gallienus, in the 3rd century AD, Syedra's coin minting came to an end, albeit slightly later than other cities. Following Diocletian's provincial regulations, Syedra became the easternmost coastal city on the border of the Pamphylia-Isauria province. This era can be evaluated as a crisis phase due to inflation, bureaucratic burdens, economic struggles, migration to the city, and the oppression of Christians. From the coastal region covering Pamphylia, Isauria, and Cilicia, only Perge, Megiddos, Aspendos, Syedra, Antioch, and Tarsus attended the Council of Nicaea, convened in 325 AD. Syedra was listed as an Isaurian city, and Nestor of Syedra took his place at this meeting as a bishop. Later, at the Council of Chalcedon in 451 AD, Syedra was represented by Bishop Gaius. A renewed period of prosperity, which started in the second half of the 4th century AD and was felt more clearly in the 5th century, was experienced in the region. During this time, new buildings were added and churches were constructed. This prosperity ended with a second Sassanid attack. Arab raids began immediately after. The Arabs looted all the cities on their path while advancing to capture Constantinople in 677 to 678 AD. Nevertheless, Bishop George from Syedra still attended the council meeting in Constantinople in 692 AD. During the First Crusade, there was a revival at sea and on the coasts. The absence of Syedra among the castles mentioned in the region may be due to the city shrinking, its connection with the coast decreasing, and its access from the sea becoming difficult. However, the name Syedra continued to appear on bishopric lists until the 12th century AD. The last traces of settled life in the city, which had continued since the 9th century BC, are a small number of Anatolian Seljuk ceramics. It is thought that thanks to its strategic location during this late period, Syedra may have undertaken the duty of a frontier castle, ensuring the security of Alanya Castle.